Every week on Thursday, Stormwind University gets together to host a conclave event for the public, and this week we did the same. This is a conclave event and the highlights that took place during it. As always, the Lightning Lancers started off the show with their flying, and after that, the first performer would take the stage. Infinite Iron Petal, I'm pretty sure I said that name right. Anyway, she was the first performer on the stage. She told the crowd a story, well, kind of. Her idea is to compare the audience to a unique story. It was a bit confusing to comprehend at first, however, it quickly became interesting. It was a well done performance by Vadrani. After the story by Infinati, the next performer would take the stage. The next performer would be the amazing writer of poetry, Keneolika. She went up there to read us all a poem. Kinnear read, "A gentle stream to river grows, and winds its way to sea, and the sea runs on beyond the dawn, for that's how the world will be, and the sun will always rise again, and the moon will always set. This is how it's always been, and it hasn't failed us yet." And what is this? In the corner we have the great Nahihi clapping. How could this be? Normally he will just yell at people and will grumble to himself and twirl his evil mustache. But he's clapping. Could he be entertained by this? Who knows, but, well, now he's just staring at the camera. Maybe he doesn't like cameras. Is he a bit camera shy? No, now he's walking. There's a bit of camera lag, folks. It seems, I'm sorry, but our gnomish technology is a bit outdated. We need to get a repairman down here or something to fix our camera. Anyway, now he's hiding behind a tree. He definitely is camera shy or something. And apparently we're slowly moving closer. And there he is. The great Nahihi, the evil warlock lord who is immortal, or at least claims to be. I think he's sick in the head personally, and could he be planning to ruin another performance, or is he just getting a better view? Sometimes he will invade performances and tell everyone a long and generally boring story. And we'll come back to you folks with what happened and any highlights if he does tell a story. See you all then. The great Nahihi said that instead of destroying us all, he would tell us a tale. The tale begins with three little mortals. The mortals were all friends. They battled together, learned together, and they did everything together as they trained. One of them was rather small for a mortal, with a rather large beard. The other a very large mortal, brutish and thick in both body and mind. The brutish one was of a sickly green color with upside down fangs. And finally, the last mortal who worshipped the light. But fortunately, said the great Nahihi, all good things must come to an end, while evil things conquer the universe. Anyway, they had learned all they could from their teacher or school or whatever, said the warlock, and they made like trees and left. They went their separate ways. The bearded one settled somewhere cold. He built his house out of beard hair and alcohol kegs. He was proud of his abomination of architecture. The brutish green mortal settled down somewhere hot and built his home out of wood and tribal markings and mortal skulls. The light-loving mortal, ever religious, made his home out of stone and brick and prayers, and they all heard rumors of an incredibly evil, incredibly powerful, incredibly fashionable warlock lord. Nahihi, said the warlock. The villain was dastardly and most skilled at dark magics. The bearded mortal was the first to see this evil villain. He cowered in his home of beer kegs and hair and cried, "Villain, villain, don't come in. I'm just chillin'." The villain then destroyed the poor excuse of a home to mere sliddles, in a very fashionable and evil manner, too. The bearded mortal escaped death by hair, and lo! The mortal ran to the brutish green mortal's sorry home, the home of wood, tribal markings, and skulls, but it was stronger than the bearded mortal's home, but it was not strong enough. The evil villain arrived, and the bearded mortal and brutish green mortal both said, evil guy, don't come in, we don't want to die." Well, the evil villain destroyed their houses with ease. Alas, the two escaped with their bones still intact, and lo! They ran to the light-loving mortal's home of stone, brick, and prayer, and he let them in. And instead of preparing for the evil villain, he lectured the two on why good is better than evil. Anyway, the evil villain arrived, and the three mortals all said, dumb fool, you can't obliterate this home, you're not even cool." It was the last thing those mortals ever chanted, for then the great villain obliterated and their foolish homes. And after that, the great Nahihi finally exited the stage and we could get on with the show. After that, Warlock was on the stage for such a long time. We could finally move on. Anyway, after that, Elvi would take the stage to present tonight's ad break as the Dean of the University was unable to make it today. After the ad break, Kenya would take the stage yet again to sing us all a song. Luckily, I have a recording of her singing it live at the Conclave. Here it is for y'all.
Let the storm be your lullaby as the rain hits your window, and I'll sing till the thunder strikes and the lightning they follow. Let your eyelids grow heavier, let me hold you in my arms, and I'll sing you this lullaby, and I'll keep you from harm. And these walls that surround us keep us safe and warm as we sit here together to wait out this storm. When the world lies against you, it can be hard to fight. So we'll sit here together to wait out the night, and the storm is your lullaby when your tears hit your pillow, and the rain and the thunder strikes drown the darkness within you. As your eyelids grow heavier, know that I'm never far, for I'll teach you this lullaby, and I'll keep you from harm. And these walls that surround us keep us safe and warm when the best we can do is to wait out this storm. So the world lies against us, I still know we can fight, but we'll rest for the moment and wait out the night. So the storm is your lullaby when the light shines within you, and you'll rise till the thunder strikes. Hear keep us safe.
And following the theme of songs, Bogart would go up next to sing a song of his own. And then after that, McCarran would take the stage. Anyway, to end off the show, Marion McCarran would take the stage. He went up there to tell us all a story. The story is about an event that took place a long while ago, back when Mac was a little fella, and when Westfall was still a wild place full of bandits, thieves, and lawless land grubbing farmers. Mac's dad passed away, and his grandmother was working hard for the orchard. Each day she toiled, picking apples, fighting off coyotes, and pruning the trees, until one day a group of men came up the hills. They were all dressed up in black, and in the center of them stood Keith Woodward. Now, Keith Woodward, he was the meanest and most terrifying bandit in all of Westfall. But Grandma McCarran wasn't put off at all. She was a Westfall woman after all. Now, he and his posse had come to take the land from her, seeing as her husband had passed, and she was the only one on hand to protect it from scum like him. His goons circled around the two of them, but she held her ground. She walked up to that bastard and gripped his laurels. "Woodward," she said, "I'd sooner die than let your idiots take my land." Now, in any other case, Woodward would have had his goons kill her on sight, but he wanted to act like a gentleman, and allowing the old woman to think about it, he gave her 1 week, and all that time she spent preparing for him. When the goons came back with their guns and magic and whatnot, she was ready for him. You see, the McCarran orchard is up on the hills, and it lies right between a small passage. When they come in, she had rigged a boulder to topple down the hill. Nothing too big, just a little rope, some leaves, and a pulley mechanism holding the thing in place. But it did the trick. It flattened the three of them and drove the four back to their master. Now, that is not the end of it, though. When his man got back to him, Woodward was seething with rage. He gathered up the survivors and rode out again, this time coming from a different path. And when they arrived, they found Grandma McCarran standing in the field, brandishing a small boomstick. She gave him until the count of three, and when one stepped forward before that, she shot him right between the eyes. And that's how the standoff began for a good couple of hours. They'd fire shot after shot, and Grandma McCarran remained in her house, picking them off one by one until it was only her and Woodward. Now Woodward, he was a good shot. All he needed was a right angle, and he could end this. Both walked in front of each other eventually, and they drew their guns, and turned into a standoff. However, both fell to the ground. No one won that day, but at the very least, the orchard remains in the family name because of her ferocity. And with a story of Marion McCarran, that brings the Conclave event to an end. I hope you all had fun this week at the Conclave for those who attended, and for those who didn't, I hope to see you all there next week. Stormwind University hosts this event every week. It's on Thursday, and it starts at 7 p.m. behind the Stormwind Cathedral District. Anyway, stay safe, Azeroth, and see you all next time. This has been reporter Ryan Randall for the Lightning Gazette News.